Hi. Hi. Good morning. Um, Thank you. I'm sorry that I might be coming a little hesitant at the beginning of this topic. I just want to see if I can put together a journal thought on it. I love you. Please forgive me for being hesitant at the beginning and for being rambling, but I don't want to change that. It's just journaling, so I'm grateful that my one person watched it. Two people so far. Okay, so actually, I'd be grateful if no one watched it. That way I'll feel more, less inhibited. But anyway, today, the topic that I wanted to talk about was breaking through. And basically breaking through to real life. So I understand and know that in our day-to-day lives, we have labels which define us as who we are. And we have categories or labels which define us by what we do, and ones that define us by what we are born into, and that these labels or categories can be helpful for giving us a game plan, a mental game plan, even a tactical physical game plan to help us to have the right outlook on things and to be open to the opportunities which may or may not be available to us depending on the decisions that we make. So I guess the first thing that I really have to share is one of the main points of having opportunities available to us or not available to us really does depend on what we do. This is one of the big illusions that people do not understand. They think that if their world is a certain way, like their personality is a certain way, or their habits are a certain way, their financial status is a certain way, or their regular day-to-day life is a certain way, that it's going to remain that way. And that if they decide or don't decide to do one thing, like say they decide to call their grandmother. So they call their grandmother, she talks with them, and she's like, has kind of a dry whatever way with them, just kind of chats, and they wrap it up. They're done with the nice call. They get their stuff together, they get their coat, and they go out the door to their day. Actually, it does change what your variables are. So you can have different options on your life path based on decisions you make at like deciding points in your world. So that being said, that's kind of like the goal. That's kind of like a background information. It can be kind of a nice motivator, or it can be a pain in the neck and it can lead to a lot of regrets if you don't understand that, lovingly. So anyway, basically, what I'm talking about is having an awareness that exists, that there are variables. If you go out of the house after talking to your grandmother, you're cheerier, you speak nicely to your neighbor downstairs, he doesn't yell at his daughter, scream at his daughter, and the day goes better for another human being on the planet. Now, if you didn't talk to your grandmother, you might kind of give him a funny look or ignore him or think, oh gosh, like anything, like, oh, cigarette butts or something. Doing something like that can cause him to think that you're not happy with him and offended. He can have a comment to his daughter and her life could be a worse day. So those things are very real. They're also real on a metaphysical plane, because sometimes I think God, the universe, is so wise, the system of things is so wise that it doesn't always apply the logic, but it's kind of it's kind of a fact. So the logic is there. It's just that it's not always broken down for you. It doesn't always have to be. I guess it depends on how enlightened you are. So basically, what my kind of goal is pretty much to break through, to be clear of the old things that were holding me back, and to just kind of break through and evolve to a new stage. The thing that I need, the thing that makes me happy. So I have two huge belief systems that are going back and forth against each other. One is that I love being Catholic, and it is a very dry, warm, secure, logical place for me. The second is that I'm a bit too much of a purist, and I don't like that there are things about being Catholic which I feel jeopardize or could harm people who are Catholic. So like anything simple like the fact of that we support major sporting events, and we don't analyze them or talk about them in church and say, is that really good that the athletes are paid X million dollars and aren't accountable for it? I mean, I'm just asking for accountability or review or to talk about the topics. So in this situation where I kind of like the purity of a Catholic being good, and I also like the purity of being all embracing, being Hindu, being Buddhist, really studying Course in Miracles, and just like all the cultural blessings that are unveiled to us. Okay, so I like all the cultural blessings that are unveiled to us through any type of religion. True. I like being Catholic. True. I don't want to be labeled. True. It is okay for me to be labeled. Untrue. I know what the word hypocrite means. Untrue. I understand what the sense of what the word hypocrite means. True. I can look up what hypocrite means in 5 minutes to get an exact definition, so I won't have a block there. True. Based on that information, I can say faithfully, I don't want to be a hypocrite. True. My issue with being a hypocrite seems based on a memory. True. I'm willing to let go of labels. My greater truth shines through. True. Okay, so basically, I'm not comfortable with being judged. Really what I want is everybody to convert and become better people at all things in their life, whether it's exercise, eating, kindness to others. Just convert, refine yourself, and then I'll keep that understanding and knowledge as we all rise up a level and live in the new level. So nobody eats animals anymore. So what evolves from that is like great new recipes and ways to get together on Sunday, because face it, after you eat apples, kale, and oranges for several weeks, you're kind of going to want a percentage of your time, 8% of the time, you're going to say, I want to have some kind of a family food on Sunday. So the whole system now evolves to a higher level.